I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. Emily Dickinson, I felt a funeral in my brain. The big sad. I bet you knew right when I said those words what they meant. Feeling sad, down in the dumps, heavy-hearted. So many words for such an universal emotion, such a universal experience. We all feel sad from time to time. Take my cat Mao, for example. He is sad when I refuse to play with him. Look at him, the poor guy. He is a devil. We generally think of sadness as something that one must avoid. An unpleasant experience that ruins the day, destroys everything in its path, and in general makes everything horrible. Because that's what sadness does, right? All it takes is one fight, one bad day, one series of unfortunate events that trigger endless thoughts. God, the thoughts. Bringing back to you every moment of embarrassment and constantly trying to tell you how everything is going to go completely wrong. Not unlike those dementors in Harry Potter, sucking out every bit of happiness and energy out of you. That's rumination for you. The constant repetition of a single dark, sad thought over and over in the head. Does this sadness ever end? But think about it. Is sadness really all that terrible a tragedy? How about this thought? Sadness is not defeat, and in fact, allows us to understand what's really important to us. Meaning, sadness needn't always be the terrible end of the world. It can lead to hope. And that's exactly what Frost is trying to say in his poem, Dust of Snow. How, you ask? Great question. To emphasize this point, Frost uses a poetic device called symbolism. What's symbolism, you ask? Symbolism is a poetic device in which a poet will talk of an idea or emotion through an object. Wait, that didn't make any sense. Let me try to help you with an example. Poets often talk about love through rows. Like when Shakespeare says, "Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like a thorn." Romeo and Juliet, Act 1, Scene 4. He's really saying that love sometimes hurts like the thorn of a rose. We think Shakespeare can be a bit of a drama queen at times. But what kind of symbols does Frost employ in this poem? He uses 3 symbols in the poem and to surprising results. Consider the first, the crow. What's your first thought when you think of the crow? I bet it isn't pleasant, eh? Their beady black eyes, their constant cawing, the ominous presence. And well, you wouldn't be too wrong if you are somehow between annoyed and disgusted by this. Because traditionally, the crow has been a symbol of death and horror. Play The Simpsons' Treehouse of Horror, the raven singing nevermore. The second symbol he uses is hemlock tree. Now, I don't know how much attention you've been paying in your biology classes, but hemlock is a poison. Well, it's a tree, every part of which can be used to synthesize a deadly poison. For purposes of safety, I won't tell you how. Needless to say, please don't try this at home, no matter how much you want to. Okay, so the crow is death, the hemlock is poison, and therefore ultimately death. Amazing! How's that supposed to make me feel better? Well, Here's how smart Frost is. He takes these two symbols that you generally associate with the bad stuff and uses them in a positive way. In the opening lines of the poem, he sets an ominous tone by introducing the crow and then having something dropped upon his shoulder. Talk about a bad day, huh? You get pooped on when you are already frustrated and sad. Yikes! And to top it off, it's situated in the hills surrounded by hemlock. Literal poison and death. Oh God, will this suffering ever end? Yes, it will. Because here comes our third and final piece of the puzzle. The symbol of snow. Have you ever seen snow? How beautifully calm and composed it can be. How it suddenly changes the look and feel of a place just by existing. Frost here talks of innocence and hope through the symbol of snow. So, when the dust of snow, that is the fine particles of snow, fall off the branch and land on Frost, they force him to pause his rumination. Remember that thing where we keep focusing on all the dark things, especially when we are sad? Yep, exactly that. It's Frost's way of showing to you the importance of a distraction when you are not feeling great. We have all got our favorite distractions. Maybe music, talking to friends, hanging out with them, perhaps watching your favorite show on Netflix, or maybe having a nice meal and a great nap. That always works for Mao when he's sad. But there's a deeper purpose to this. Notice the setting of the poem. This all happens outside, in pristine places and untouched nature. Get what he's hinting? He's talking about our connection with the natural world. That perhaps, sometimes, all you need is a walk. All you need is being in the natural world out there. And you might wonder why. Here's the thing. We are a part of this big and amazing world, and nature is where we come from. It is only obvious that being one with that world makes us feel better. Plus, notice how big the world is. There's constantly something happening there. Things are always in motion, and these small changes grow up to be huge ones. Case in point, a mistimed crow's leap can displace snow off a tree onto a passerby, giving him just the break he wanted, giving him just the distraction he needed. And even if for just a moment, this distraction gives the poet hope. Perhaps not all is lost. Perhaps there is happiness even in the darkest of dark, if only one remembers to turn on the light. And that's the dust of snow for you. Not just a poetic way of saying bunch of snow, but a way of saying, hey, this is some hope for you. Wish you forget your sorrows, maybe just for a minute, and enjoy of a day that you had thought was truly beyond any say.